Let me get myself together. We're gonna get into it again. Appreciate it, my brother. Chris Glide said the bikes is looking good. They Holmes, what's up? Donnie, what's up? Special King of the Road, what's up? Looks like you got a Road King in there. All right, make sure you guys can see everything. I know who y'all came for. I'm gonna be answering a few questions. I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions, but I gotta keep some secrets for the videos coming soon. The Biketober Fest, but let a few more people join, and we're gonna get this thing started. It's Sunday. I know everybody's watching the game, but I got like a few minutes to spare before I start watching my shows that I watch. A little bit of the game if I can catch it. No big deal to me. Tom Brady retired. I can care less. So, how am I looking? How am I sounding? Just let me know if the audio and the visual is good, and we're gonna get rolling. Guys, I always gotta look down at my phone to see what's going on. So if you're saying something in the chat, just put it down in there so I know what's going on. But this is gonna be a short and sweet one. Not too much going on. But we did, if you pay attention to the glide, we did some things to the king. Oh my God. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. To the king. The king got some things done. Chris, don't think I watch you, but I do. I watch you. I know you got the new CVO. Am I right? Am I right? Peter Johnson from Canada, what's up, man? Okay. Yeah, I don't think you guys can see the comments, I don't know, but yeah, we got some people rolling in. So as soon as this thing pumps up a little bit, okay. Hey Chris, I know I don't know you, but I'm gonna tell you this: you have original content. I appreciate the YouTubers with original content. It's just so frustrating for a lot of us to see, everybody piggybacking off of other people's content. That ain't no rant. That's just the truth. Only YouTubers know what I'm talking about. Guys, a lot of times when you see, one person do something and then somebody else comes and do it, or they all, just back to back to back, you can kind of see what's going on there. But if you haven't watched Chris Glide's videos, go check him out. He's got a nice road glide over there, and I see him, putting some work into his new CVO road glide too. So, Chris, where you out of, man? I'm gonna wait till a few more people get on here, and we're gonna get this thing going. What else we got? I'm answering questions. I know somebody asked about the road glide already. I think he took his comment down. Got videos coming this week on the King. No videos coming on the road glide just yet. Like I said, guys, parts we can't make them go no faster. It just is what it is. We pretty much got everything for the road glide. Same thing from last week. So no further updates, but a lot of new ideas for both bikes. I like to set my bikes aside from everybody else's bikes, so a lot of new things coming for the Road King. Should surprise you. I like to keep people guessing on this bike, but you will get full details. I'll give it to you that way. So we know what the King is doing. Let me tell you guys this, because I don't want to make a whole video about it. So the Road King 3-hour ride to Biketober Fest. I did a burning turn, so call it 7 hours, 6.5-ish. I don't like to ride at night. I'm not a nighttime rider, so I know we got a lot of hogs coming out on the turnpike and on 95. That's one of my major reasons why I don't. And we even got some deer down here, believe it or not. So I'm not a real nighttime rider. Plus, I can't see that good at night no more. The lights, you know. But we took the King. It was kind of cool out. I think when I left the house, it was about 69. I know that's not cold for any other states. Don't start jumping down in the comment section. But for us, you know, we used to 80 every day, 80 and better. So when we get a little 70 degree and a little 60 degree, we got to tighten up for it, but we enjoy it too. If you guys are looking over there, you know, at the old Troy, what's up, man? Hey, Troy, you know what time it is. I ain't gonna say nothing though. Roadglide parts coming soon. They should be here. This bike should be done sometime November, hopefully. If everything works out the way we want it to. That bike has no corners cut in it, so I only try to put the best of the best into that bike. Now, I know a lot of guys say, well, you know, that bike's fast, but why don't you put all of that in this bike? No. This is my favorite riding bike at this point. After that 3-hour ride, guys, it really put me back in the place of like a comfortable sport bike. Okay, nimble, easy to whip around, whip through traffic. I'm not stopping and slowing down to kind of negotiate a lot of things. I can kind of like let that bike carry itself on through curves and stuff like that. We're still on stock suspension. As a matter of fact, it's lowered in the back, and those are 12-inch shocks in the back. The handlebars are 12-inch KSTs. Now they sit up pretty straight. They sit up pretty straight. So if I go a little bit bigger, I can pull them back a little bit more. Maybe I don't want a big swooping handlebar, so that setup is pretty good. And that's how the bike came to me. The person who owned it before me did put those bars on it. When I got the bike, it only had 3,000 miles, if you guys will remember. And from now on, that's how if I buy another bike, I'm gonna buy it gently used, slightly used. The bike didn't have any issues, no scratches, and especially on a paint job like that, you're looking, because it's expensive. Yeah, it's not just the normal colors that you can just go anywhere and order: red, black, maybe even a couple of blues or something like that. But it's some painters don't even want to paint like a denim, the matte color. This is denim, it's not matte, it's denim because it still has some it actually has flake of gold in it. So, you know, we gotta get some things done with this bike to make it look the part of a king. Not the road king, a king. Two different things. I just made that up. Let me start going through some comments. I see we got some on here. Jay Holmes, boy, you cooking with grease again. Let me scroll up and scroll back down, make sure I'm not missing anybody. So what's up, everybody who's on right now? Troy, we're in the same boat, brother. You already know. We're getting our road glides together. Can you? I'm not gonna ask you no questions. Yeah, I already know how you're gonna get. I'm not gonna say nothing. But Troy's got his bike down at allamericancycles, getting some heavy duty stuff done. It's gonna be a good, fast bike. He's going to be happy with it. If you guys watched my previous video, not the one that I dropped today, so if you haven't watched the video today, go watch it. It's basically Biketober Fest. For all the guys that couldn't make it down, that's for you. It will be some sights in there. I tried to pull back on all the sights, but there are some sights in there for you guys to see. So go check it out. You might enjoy it. So we're both getting our bikes done. His bike's gonna be bad. The King did very good on this trip. Very surprising to me, and I know it was due to this windshield, but everything else on the King is pretty good. It runs amazing, stays straight. One thing about the King, it's a little lighter. So bumps, okay, check me out. Because I have a stock suspension, bumps will put me into a wobble. because I have 12-inch springs in the back. The bike is not set up for my weight. The bike is what it is. So it tries to kind of like hop a little bit. Hopping will send you into a wobble. It sent me into a slight wobble. I was in a curve. It just a pavement. It didn't accept the bump. So it had no give. It was kind of hard and abrupt, but it gave me a slight wobble. And I felt the wobble coming on, and if I would have just sat there and tried to relax that wobble, we would have gotten into something a little stupid. So when in doubt, throttle out, gave it some gas, straightened back up. Back on, and didn't bother me, didn't get nervous or anything like that. I felt the wobble coming. This is exactly the motion it gave me, and then we're gonna get up out of there. So that's, guys, I gave it to you once before, so there you go. There's it again. So it did happen with me, but it was very slight. It would probably happen. It wouldn't happen again once I do suspension, guys. We know I'm doing suspension. Smooth 0627. I don't know how often you watch my videos, but that's a grudge bike. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a grudge bike, so you're gonna put the best of the best into that bike. Whether it's whatever size motor, you're going to put the best into that bike because there's classes. So if you're going to be in a small motor class, you got to do the best you can. You got to do everything if you really want to be out there trying to make heads turn and make those bikes go fast, if that makes sense. Hope I answered your question with that. So they're saying I got an exhaust and and a filter on the King. Can y'all see it? Let me get out the way, man. No, I'm not getting out the way. I'm not showing nobody nothing. You gotta stick around for the video. But some things have been done to the King. I'm not racing the bike. All right, guys, I'm not gonna race that bike. And I know the more I do to this bike, the faster I'm gonna want to go on this bike. The bike is quick. It's very quick. To not have power like that bike, and it feels real good. Now, I've told you guys before why I didn't pick all these other bikes. I didn't pick the ST. I didn't pick the new CVO because I knew what I wanted to get out of the bike at the end of the day. Those weren't going to give it to me. They were just going to be comfortable riding bikes. I have a comfortable riding bike. It's just a fast, comfortable riding bike. Now, I keep saying it's fast, but you guys see from the videos, if you don't believe these bikes are fast, guess again, because you gotta understand, you got some of the fastest in the country coming out of that shop. I'm gonna leave it at that. Just my opinion. What we got? Sorry, guys, this weekend. Hey man, listen, Brian, you missed it. You missed us. Go watch the video. You feel like you was right there. We probably no big deal. No big deal. But I will say this. Biketober Fest was a lot bigger this year than I've seen before in previous years. When I went last year, it was just like, okay. This year, it was packed. It was almost like a March kind of crowd. It was bikes everywhere. You can see in the video, I tried to do the best I could because, I was trying to enjoy myself too, but the video is up, so go check it out if you feel like you were there. A lot of bikes. A lot of people came from out of town. Kind of surprised me because March is the one that everybody's here for. Now, guys, if you remember, I told you that Daytona in March is going to be something different than it's ever been before. And if October showed me that already, I can already imagine what it's going to be like in March. If October was badass, imagine what March is. A lot of guys that usually do a burn and turn stayed the week, stayed a few days, so they didn't have to do the burn and turn. And I got there around 12 o'clock that afternoon and it was already packed. That was Saturday, so yesterday. Let's go. Kelly B, I'm gonna have a whole conversation with you in a second. I don't know if you want to have this conversation, but I'm gonna have a conversation with you in a second. Carlos Vasquez, he keep looking, buddy, an IG talker. I don't know who that was aimed at, but if you watch my videos, if you're talking to me, it's kind of hard for me to get a race. It's kind of hard for bipolar to get a race sometimes. You know, a lot of guys will talk until it's time to race, until that bike is there, until they see what's going on. Then it's kind of different. But anyway, we'll move on past that. Kelly B, I got a video coming so you can hear it. I might post something on Instagram so people can kind of hear what the bike sounds like now. But everybody's gonna want to know what I did to the bike, what kind of horsepower it's got, what parts I used. This bike, I'm giving the rundown. Moving on. Okay, keep going on down. So, Pino Glock said, he said, Kelly, are you going for, I think this says Max Belt. Max Belt, he did say that. Let me speak on that real quick. I will be down in Daytona March. Both weekends. I do it pretty much every year, both weekends. That's expensive, just to let y'all know to do both weekends. But I'm going to do, depending, because I see a lot of the guys starting to come the second weekend instead of just the first weekend. So depending on how it goes, if I don't have to go both weekends, I'm going to do one weekend, and I'll kind of like tell you which weekend I'm going on. Somebody just said, seen it on IG Live. Hey, if you watch my IG Live today, chime in and say what happened to me today. Because if I say it, nobody will probably believe me, but whatever. Yeah, so I'm going to put it out there and see which weekend a lot of the YouTubers are coming. And then I'll go from there. If it's the first weekend, I'll go the first weekend. If it's the second weekend, which I see a lot of more guys going to, I'm definitely going to lock in for the second weekend. What else we got? Tom 202, he says pulled over for no helmet. Well, Tom, we don't have a helmet law here, so that wasn't the reason why I was pulled over. Gotta watch it a little bit harder, and you'll see what happened. Or you guys want me to tell you? Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Going 90 and 35. Okay, I can understand that. Guys, I was sitting at the light, and this car pulls up and he stops short. Okay, and all I can see is the front end of this car, right? So as I'm to the king is probably where the car stops at, and then we're just sitting at a light, and I see his windows go up. Makes no difference to me, but I couldn't see what was on the side of the car, and it said police. And as soon as I hit the gas, he pulls me over. I'm not saying I punched it. I just took off from the light. I was just going through the light like a normal person, and he pulled me over. What else we got? Ask your questions now, forever hold your peace. So again, bipolar should be done sometime November, hopefully soon. The content for the king is coming this week. We got a few things we're gonna do to the king this week, and once we're done, we're gonna start doing some more things. Yeah, some more things are coming. Yeah, somebody. And so I guess there was a guy on another Harley somewhere near me or something like that, and he made some kind of illegal turn or whatever. But the guy who pulled me over is, first of all, he's a subscriber and he's a buddy of mine. So JP, you saw it? JP, you can't say nothing, man. If you know, you got to keep it to yourself. But the fact that you saw it and I didn't even get to see it, I was hoping somebody sent me a video, okay? Guys, probably the best riding Harley that I've been on. Sorry, bipolar, I'm sorry. You too rowdy, baby. Sometimes you know, you out of hand. This bike rides like a cruiser, but handles like a sport bike. I don't have a suspension on it yet, so I can only imagine once I get my suspension how this bike is really going to react, how the power delivery comes on this bike because of the aerodynamics and because it's lightweight. We're still on factory tires. We're still pretty much, I'm not even half of what, you know, that bike is over there and the amount of money that I have in that bike. This bike has a few bucks in it. I won't call it a few bucks. This bike has some money in it, but not anywhere near what something on a competition level would have. So it's kind of hard to be the king, man. It's I'll be honest with you. A lot of guys have kings and they don't use them and they don't ride them because of, you know, either their riding styles or, you know, they like their road glides and street glides better. But in my opinion, this bike has, like I said, 12-inch KST bars on it. They sit perfect. They're not upright too far forward like a T-bar setup. They're a little bit back. We adjusted them. They have some pullback to them, so it's very comfortable, guys. I don't know if you can see. I put the what is it? Performance Machine grips on it already. Really helped out. Really can feel the bike now. Really can control the throttle a little bit better because, you know, on stock throttle it's a little loose in there. It's a little delayed. The bike's been taken care of, massaged a little bit, so it's very snappy. There's not a lot of play in the throttle. You want just a little bit. This bike has just what it needs at this point. Let me say a few more things. This is not a rant. This is not anything like that. But I'm looking at my buddy, Chris Glides. He came on. I watch your channel, you know, when I can. I watch a lot of the YouTubers' channels all of a sudden to get my own entertainment, you know what I mean? But sometimes, you know, it's hard to come up with content for you guys every day or every week or 2 and 3 times a week. So the guys who are really doing it, I applaud you guys for really putting it out there and really wanting to show off your stuff. Kelly B, he does too. Chris does. A lot of those other guys do, I won't mention. But at the same time, a lot of guys are cheating. They're peeking over and looking at your homework and then putting out a video just like a lot of people. I do not steal ideas. I do not go so far as my idea, your idea becomes my idea. I don't really try and do that. If I put out videos, it is what it is. It's my thought process. It's how I kind of pick everything out. I know guys who have Road Kings, no content on. One of the most fun bikes I've ridden. I know guys who have road glides. You know, you gotta buy, you know, in my opinion, you're buying parts on a discount to run on your bike, and you haven't even researched it. You just sometimes you just want a discount. That stuff like that, I don't do it. I go in, I research the part. I'll try my best to figure out who has that part on their bike so I can see it, I can feel it, I can, you know, kind of like put my eyes on it, try to, you know, formulate my own opinion. Yeah, somebody might tell me about it, but I don't always go off of that. I kind of go off my own thing. That's me. That's how I try to set myself aside from a lot of other YouTubers, but just sometimes it takes a while for, you know, people to catch on to it. So that's just what it is. A lot of other guys I see that I'm just named do it that way. They look like they're just, you know what, I like this. This is how I like, blah, blah, blah. Not everybody's sponsored. Not everybody can get all those parts. These parts are expensive. This stuff comes out of our own pocket. Everything I do to both of these bikes comes out of my pocket. You can ask whoever you want. I'm paying just like everybody else. You guys saw in the video. My bike sat at Georgia's shop. that's what it does. I'm in line. I have to wait until it gets cleared out. There's not just, hey, let's knock this bike off the table and put Mac's bike up there. It's not how it works. I have to coordinate with All American Cycles. I have to coordinate with George to say, hey, George, what's a good day? What's a good time? That's how it works for me. And I take pride in how I do my videos and my research, because when I tell you something, guys, I'm giving you the honest truth. If parts junk, and I know a lot of guys appreciate me for this. If a part's junk, I'm not gonna run. I'm not even gonna bring it to the channel. If a part's good, I'll bring it to you. Just so happens, this bike took me in a whole different direction, so I kept it grudge racing. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I can't tell everything about that bike. And at the same time, I spent a lot of money on it, and at the same time, I have a mechanic who grudge races as well. So if, you know, it's something that he puts together for me, he doesn't want that told. This bike, we had to have a conversation. I'm like, look, man, this is not going to be a race bike. Some things I want to be able to talk about and tell about this bike. We will. There's not going to be a big, long list of parts for this bike. I'm going to keep it very simple because this is something I want to ride and I want to enjoy. And it's already lightweight and snappy. So that's where we sit with the King. Let's see. What else? Ask your questions now, guys. I'm sorry I went on and rambled to you guys, but that's how I feel. This bike is going to be a showstopper. It's not going to be a show bike like we put in shows, but the intricate details you're going to see on this bike, and I'm going to take you guys along for the ride and the journey with this bike too. I'm going to try and put you guys like in my mindset of what I did and why I did it and what I picked and different things like that. Now, I get a lot of guys. All of a sudden I hear I'm like the bully of YouTube, of Harley racing. I'm not the bully. I'm confident in my bike and I'm confident in the performance of the bike. I've been racing for a very long time, and I can guarantee you I've been probably racing than most of all of the YouTube guys who race. And I'm not just talking about Harleys, I'm talking about racing in general. I've been racing since, I almost incriminated myself, didn't I? But track racing, street racing, all that stuff, I've done that in the past. And I just feel like, you know, I have a good opinion on a lot of this stuff. So that's what kind of keeps me going kind of ahead of the game. I'm not saying I'm the fastest guy out there, but I am one of the fastest YouTubers you're going to find. No disrespect to anybody else. I always put it out there to say, hey, you guys want to prove it. This year, March, Daytona, we're going to put the same thing together. I'm going to probably try to change it up a little bit, but the rules will be the same. You know, road glide, street glide, I know somebody's going to bring a Road King. I mean, if that's what it takes to get more people into it. I'm not going to be racing this bike, so you guys don't have to think I'm just trying to bully anything. But, you know, everybody's building bikes. I mentioned this last year that everybody should try and build themselves something. And a lot of guys have really built bikes and to enjoy them and to look at the performance side of them. I don't like to push anybody in any direction, but I'll say this. If you have a good shop or are looking for a shop, research your shop first. If you have a shop already, stick by them. Try and figure out the guys, you know, the best you guys can come up with. Because when we go out there to do some racing, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I want you to be safe. It's not like I'm putting on something that's, you know, that I want you to go out there and, you know, race. If you go out there and just want to have fun with your bike, that's what we're going to call it. If you want to go out there and have fun with your bike, we're going to make it the safest we can make it. We're going to find some place or whatever, or however somebody helps us set this thing up again. You know, just come out and enjoy it. Have fun, have conversations, look at each other's bikes, hear them, because they're a lot different when you hear them in person than when you hear them on YouTube and different things like that. So that's my take on that. But I'll say it again, once, twice, 5 times. Most enjoyable ride I had was on this. Now, is that a better ride? Long distance? Absolutely. More power? Yeah, everything's there. But fun to ride. Fun to ride doesn't always mean fast to ride, but fun to ride is right here. But that's what I got for you. And like I said, I got videos coming. So if you're just now logging in and watching the live, I'm sorry guys, I didn't blast it out there, but I got pulled over today. I got pulled over today coming from our local Sunday spot. You know, they got me. No big deal. You know, he stopped me. So if you ain't see it, go watch my live on Instagram. It happened today. Man, I moved 5 feet and the lights were on already. People are funny, man. This dude's funny. Shout out to my boy though. You know, it was all in fun. I didn't know it was him though. I didn't know it was a buddy of mine until I actually stopped. So I'm going through the comments again. Let's see what we got. Shout out to everybody who's on here. Shout out to, you know, Troy. If you still on here, say something, man, because I'm about to talk. I'm about to say something. I'm about to talk about something. Biketober, I'll say it again, Biketober was a good trip. I did a burn and turn, so video's up. Go watch that video. Music. Alex, are you saying, am I putting music on this bike? Yeah, Biketober was a success. It was very big. It was a lot of people. I've always felt like you didn't need but a weekend. This time, a bunch of people came out. They stayed more than I've ever seen before. And I'm 99% sure March is going to be crazy. Crazy. If you guys are coming, let me know. You know, I'll find a spot. We can all meet up. You know, I can try and get the YouTubers I kind of like talk to every now and then, which ain't me. I'm the bully, remember? So I will kind of, you know, see if we can all coordinate something and hang out somewhere, you know, and at least look at the bikes, hear the bikes, different things like that. Alex, I think you're probably asking if this bike's gonna get music on it. Now, I rode to Daytona and I had my Cardo Pack Talk and the music was fine. Because it doesn't have any music on it now, of course, but are you putting music on the bike? If so, who are you going with? Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to put music. Now, my thought was, and I'm gonna give you guys this secret. I was gonna put two eights in the lowers, 2 8-inch speakers. Nothing in my saddlebags, nothing anywhere else, nothing on my lids, and just run that. So when I do want to play with the bike, I will take those off and be able to play with the bike. That's as far as I go. Now, if you guys never heard a good setup with a set of 8s, and I'm going to tell you this, I had a buddy, he had a 6-speaker setup, you know, on the roadglide. So 2 in the top, 2 in the saddlebags, and 2 8s in the lowers. It's set about right here. Loud, ridiculous loud, but the 8s played over everything. The 8s played over everything. So I'm not saying just do 8s if you're thinking about it, but the 8s were screaming loud. Quality speakers will give you that, and they will give you the longevity. That's why you pay for the quality, not what the power says. Who cares about that? They're all gonna play loud. It's just the quality and the longevity. Chip, talk to him, man. Chip, talk to him. All right, guys, if you haven't watched my video, the thumbnail is a red street glide. That's Chip's bike. Strong bike. I saw Chip up in Daytona this weekend too. He's gonna have his hands full pretty soon. He doesn't have a tire on that bike right now. I think he's just running the hard tire, like the stock Harley tire, and you ain't getting nowhere with that tire. Be honest with you, guys don't realize that, you know, as soon as you get on it and that bike goes into the power, you know, white smoke behind you because the tire's not gonna hold. Did I change the suspension on my Snake Venom? Did you need new rotors? The God King Manifest. I'm sorry. The God King Manifest. Okay, so since you asked, those are stock rotors. stock rotors front and back, but it does have leather suspension on that bike. Leather suspension in the front, leather suspension in the back. Very comfortable ride. Very, very comfortable, and it's set if I'm going to race the bike, if I'm going to highway cruise the bike, it's all about flip a switch, and if I have a passenger, flip another switch. That's where I'm at with that bike. I like simplicity in the bike because I don't have to kind of like try and remember or call George and say, hey, how do I, no, it's simple. Click, 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 that's it, done deal. Only thing I care about is getting back to where the bike needs to be if I want to go fast. That's all I really care about at the end of the day. But if I do want to ride 2 up a pack out or do something like that, a couple clicks will ride. Alex, I don't know if you weren't paying attention, but you just asked if there's music on the King. No, if I do, I'm going to do 2 8-inch speakers. That's about it. And it's just going to be something that I can pull off. I've got the same way I use the factory rotors with the factory suspension. Roadglide Freak 28. Guys, I didn't realize how bad the factory suspension was until I got on this bike. Until I got on the King, I didn't realize how much of a Cadillac the Roadglide is. Now the Roadglide has 2 10-inch speakers in the bags. The bike has to weigh too. It's got wheels on it. You got your amps up front, which probably don't weigh that much. But that bike is much heavier, but it's much more of a cruise to ride. I'll tell you guys again, this bike put me into a little bit of a wobble, and I know I hit a bump on the highway, and I was actually kind of like in a curve. When I hit it, I kind of stood the bike up straight, and I gassed through it. That's the only way I've ever kind of learned to get out of a wobble. And especially if you're going, speed, 75, 85, something like that. I think I might have been going 70. We're going around the curve. It was nothing, no big deal. But if you get into something like that, guys, throttle out. When in doubt, throttle out. So, yeah, that was it. But suspension has to be. My suspension's on the list and it's coming soon. I just don't know when I want to start doing so much where this bike is down. And that bike can't be down at the same time. So once that bike done, then this bike will be getting more work. You guys will be getting a few videos probably this week on the bike. Just kind of going over what I've already done. I know you guys don't know that, what I did already. Let me see. Maybe you can see something right there. Maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. I don't know. So I'm going to give everything to you of this bike. What else we got? Tom 202. It doesn't really do me any good to tell you if it's 3 or 4 because it's neither. My suspension is set on number 1 because you can dial up harder or whatever you need, more firm when you're packing out for the rest of them, if that makes sense. That's what mine's set up like. That's all I can tell you. So yeah, we did the rebound and the sag and everything like that. Set it, my weight, how I'm going to be driving the bike. My setup will probably be different than a lot of the other guys who don't do what I'm doing with my bike. If you're out just cruising, they're just going to set it a little bit. Make sure when you hit the bumps, the shocks move and you don't. That's it. What else we got? Yeah, man, everybody shoot for Daytona in March. It's going to be epic. It's going to be more video than I care to shoot, but because I hate editing, but it's going to be a good time. You're going to see these bikes out there, and a lot of guys know that, most of the YouTube guys are coming. If you haven't watched this live that we're doing right now, once we're done with this live, go back and watch it. I think I said some things in there that might make some sense to a lot of guys. So, but yeah, the King. Ooh, good riding bike, man. Good riding bike. I had to get the experience of no windshield. Then I had to get the experience of a windshield. Guys, when I do anything, I want to see the good, bad, and ugly of it. Then I make my decision from there. A lot of people will not do that. They go off of word of mouth and then they just take one opinion and never know what else is out there. I do not do that. A lot of companies, here's free game. A lot of companies offer YouTubers, I'm sure some of you know though, products. It's not always good to take those products, because if you take the product, they expect you to use that product. And then when other people see that you're doing that, they're going to flood you with things, and then you don't know who to turn down and who to take from. One thing that I've always learned is, if you don't research from someone who has done it or is doing what you're doing particularly, you can't make a real decision on it. You're just using what this guy used. So not me, not my thing. I'd rather do my own research, pay the price. If I gotta pay it twice, oh, I like that. Yeah. So that's what it is for me, guys. That's how I did suspension, handlebar, all those things you see on that bike. A lot of the cosmetics was me, or I would get opinions from other people, see if it made sense. Listen, if you want to look at color schemes, right? You want to say, I want to see if something is going to look good in red. Take a red piece of paper, red piece of tape, red piece of anything, wrap it around, tie it up, paste it on there. You'll see what it'll come out like. You can't keep painting the fender 2 and 3 times or doing things like that over and over. You kind of got to like figure out ways to figure those things out. That's just how I did. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's just me. Back to some questions. Let's see what we got. 2 green monsters in the garage. Go get her. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Short story. I knocked this bike over today. I knocked this bike over today. Not knocked it over. I was on it, backing it out, and I stopped. Now, the older you get, the harder it is to remember stuff. So I'm thinking about something I need to get out of my truck. I'm thinking. But I'm also sending a message. The bike is off. I'm sending a message and I'm thinking at the same time. And guess what? I forget to put the kickstand down. I thought it was already down. I usually sit there on my bike before I take off. Hey, I'm going to such and such. Oh, I'll meet you in 10 minutes. Or whatever you're texting. And then do whatever you got to do. Got to shut the house down now, right? The bike's out of the garage. Well, guess who forgot to put the kickstand down? I don't know. The last time I dropped the bike was my street glide, and that was back in 2019. So it kind of was like slap across the face for me to drop a brand new, fairly new bike. No damage, just it was very slow. Old man fall. I jumped. I bailed off. It just rolled real slow. No big deal. I wish I had my crash bars in the back though. I'll have them soon. Don't even worry about it. Let's go. What else y'all got? Because I'm almost out of here. We still got a nice little crowd watching. If you're a YouTuber, you know, and you're in the crowd now and I don't see you, you can say hi, chunk of deuce or something like that, man. If you haven't watched this live, go back and watch it. You might hear something interesting I said. I won't repeat it again. But, you know, when you start running out of content, I've been there. But I got some ideas you can do if you really want to know when you start running out of content. And it ain't copying other YouTubers either. It has nothing to do with that. Tar Heel IGY6. Why do I know what IGY6 is? He says, will I do a fat tire bike? It's not my style. I feel like a fat tire bike is more for a look than performance. Not that I have anything against them. They're great on the highway. I've always heard that. It's just not my style. I've even seen guys run fat tire, like, you know, either the same wheel style. I think they make a carbon fat tire. I know I've seen it somewhere. I don't know if it was wrapped, but I know I've seen carbon fat tires. So, you know, to each his own. Looks good, just not my style. That's all it is. Just not my style. Brian Montero, 128 kit and 11.1 and 10.75. Always go to 11.1. a little more power. Guys, you gotta understand, I don't know where you're from or you know, what kind of gas you guys can run. 93 is always preferred, right? Or if you're, you know, in states that have a lot of E85 stations, you can run it. We don't, you know, people think we run super crazy high compression, 16 to 1. I've heard that. I'm like, come on, man, we ride these bikes for real. So as long as, you know, you keep it safe, 11 to 1 is safe. You put it on a dyno, you'll see it's safe. You put good gas in it, the bike is safe. You won't have any issues. Just make sure you have something that cools that engine. That's why we run E85. We have the worst weather, the worst humidity, so it's hot all the time when we're riding. So, you know, a lot of people don't believe in E85. Guys, if you watch me, you'll believe them. There's other channels out there, all of a sudden are starting to run E85 for a reason. I didn't come up with E85. I didn't come up with E85 and Harleys. People have been doing it. I'm just one of the guys that said it. And when I said it, man, they tried to tear me in half for saying that the octane is higher in E85. Why not run it? But whatever. Yeah, you know, 11 to 1, it's pretty good. It's decent. It's no big deal. I mean, you won't have an issue. You won't have an issue. What else we got? What else we got? Everybody's trying to watch the game. So, one more time. I love riding the King. It's a better ride. Once we get a good suspension under it, it'll be a very, very safe and very good ride. We're not going crazy with this bike. We're not going to race this bike. I'll be in Daytona in March. If I go twice, then I'll bring this bike once, and I'll bring the other bike the other time. She should be done November. She got massaged already. The video's coming soon. Guys, I appreciate you for watching, joining, subscribing, liking. If you haven't watched this from the beginning, go back and watch it from the beginning. Guys, I'm out of here. Peace.